The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Like that, let's put it online and see what happens stage.
And the site is live.
That we opened a store and need a fast checkout stage.
Thanks. You're all set.
That count it up and ship it around the globe stage.
This one's going to Thailand.
And that, wait, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Whatever your stage, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen.
So, you've got an idea for a business. The store of your dreams. There's just one thing to figure out. Everything. That's why Shopify's all-in-one commerce platform makes it easy to sell online, in person, and everywhere else. Sell on social media. Source products with an app to get that first sale feeling. It's the only solution that gives you everything you need to sell everywhere you want. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life, power it up with Shopify.
Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/listen.
Sorry, we're cash only.
I don't know if we have that in stock. What if you didn't have to say these things to a customer again? You won't with Shopify Point of Sale. Shopify's point of sale system is your command center for your retail store. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify has everything you need to sell in person, backed by everything you need to sell online. Do retail right with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/listen. Go to shopify.com/listen.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Always fucking around.
Welcome to the Weedsman Podcast. Chris.
I'm Aaron.
We've returned.
Welcome back. Yes. I had to take another week off for COVID. I had COVID.
That's so 2020. That's so 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's, gosh, turns out it's not a myth. It's real. This was the first time that I got the COVID. Like, I thought that maybe I got something that was COVID, but no. This was the first time where I was like, this is what everybody's been talking about. All of the aches and the pains and oh God.
Did you sleep the whole time? Because I slept the whole time.
I slept a ton. I watched a ton of movies and TV. I've got a ton of shit to talk about as far as like what I watched that I found entertaining.
The only thing I kept in my mind was like, make sure you eat something each day and make sure you keep drinking water because that's how your body gets rid of this. Like, don't forget to do that.
Like, I ate a lot of junk food. I usually do when I get sick, though. The first thing I go for is Taco Bell. So I was like eating Taco Bell and pizzas and burgers. Usually just like I would get well enough. I would get the fever down and the aches far enough away where I'd like, I can keep something down. I'd eat, feel a little better, and then just go back to feeling shitty.
Yeah, I recall getting up enough strength to order up some carry-out, wait for it, eat it, and back to sleep.
Yeah, most of it was DoorDash or Grubhubbed.
Yeah,
because Grubhub doesn't translate into a verb as well as DoorDash does.
But really, you do. I've tried several times.
Tried what?
To do Taco Bell through any of those apps, and I can't do it because I know the menu prices. And when I get the total, I'm like, no way, I can't pay this. Yeah. And I should be getting twice as much Taco Bell for what I'm about to pay them.
Yeah. Well, I usually go pick up the food. I can't remember, it was an offer or something. Maybe it was through my Planet Fitness membership or something like that. But I got an offer when it was like $10. You get a whole year of Grubhub's premium service. And I used it a couple times. I used it on Christmas, actually. I was trying to get some food on Christmas, and they said there was a takeout place that was open, and I ordered. They confirmed my order. I went there. They were closed. No, it wasn't. That was a mistake I made. And then I went and got Chinese food. Or no, actually, Mr. Pita was open on Christmas. I got Mr. Pita on Christmas. But Grubhub not only canceled my order, but gave me $10 credit for the inconvenience.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen a couple times, where the restaurant cancels it and they go, "Oh, sorry, here's $5."
The membership thing, they cancel out most of the service fees or whatever the fuck. It ends up being you're probably paying like 15 to 20% over.
That's the thing, it's markup.
But over the markup, yeah. But still, yes. But it was, I wouldn't have used it if I was sick. I rarely get food delivered.
I understand, but it's just,
I rarely get pizza delivered.
Trust me, I'm a Grubhub pro, but it's just with Taco Bell is just the one thing, and McDonald's, like the things where I know I can't do it. Whenever I see the totals, I'm like, no, it's right there. I'll just go. Yeah. Like, I will save $10.
Well, also, I mean, you don't even have to like get out of your sweatpants. Like, it's all drive-through. That's a different.
Mostly what I do now, I'll order it through the app before I leave, or I'll pull into the fucking parking spot at the place, order it through the app, and then go through drive-through. And hey, I'm here to pick it up because I can customize everything. I can order what I want.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, that goes all the way back to the Flintstone days, right? They would just bring out the brontosaurus ribs right to your car.
Well, no, I don't even I don't, because I'll still drive through. But I'm just saying, hey, I'm here to pick up my order. It's already paid for.
You said you went like A&W style, right?
No, but I'll just
park.
I guess I'll pull to the side and put the order in the app real quick.
How does A&W and places like that not spring back up during the pandemic? You figure like people could go. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, I figured Sonic would have had record sales. Sonic still does that.
Do they? Because every time I go to a Sonic, they have the lanes where you can go and park, and there's the menu there, but nobody's coming out to you. Nobody's doing that anymore, which don't make with curbside service, like just about anything that you can like drugs. They were bringing weed out to my car.
It's true.
And a lot of people's cars. They
still do at some dispensaries.
Yeah. But, I'm just surprised that A&W, I mean, they're hanging on. I guess that's probably more of a regional thing, though, huh?
I mean, the last A&W I knew of is now a Noodles and Company, and it's been one for like 15 years.
Well, I'm thinking, is A&W unique to this region, or they got them all over the place?
I think they were a national chain.
You've been around.
Because you could get like A&W root beer was or is like a national product.
That's true. Yeah, but like I think Verner's is available nationally, but it's still like way more popular and distributed more in the area.
Berkeley, Auburn Hills.
Well, yeah, I know they're all around here.
Okay, so they're all around here.
Widen your scope a little bit.
Windsor. There you go. We went international on that ass.
Okay.
Tecumseh, Ontario. All right. How about website? Let's go to website.
It used to be cool to get the mugs, right?
Oh, look at this. Minnesota. Question answered.
Yeah. Why? That's what I'm thinking. It's more of like a Midwestern thing, but you think it would be in a place where they didn't have seasons so much. Part of your business model is that you're just shutting down for 3 months. But there used to be places, not just A&W is just the remnants of what survived of restaurants like that all over the place. You know, they roller skate out to your car.
Oh, I put in like Washington. There's a ton in Washington.
Washington, the state.
The state. Yeah. Let's see. South Dakota. There is a fucking A&W in South Dakota. So there you go. They are international, my friend. Oh, yeah. I zoom out. It's the International House of Root Beer. Actually, no. It goes to Canada.
Well, it's technically international, but it really doesn't get off the continent, I don't think. Well, who knows?
Are there A&W?
Yeah, everybody had an A&W mug when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when I went to college, the community college, that was one of our lunch spots, and we got the root beer, and it came out of the keg, and it was so good. Oh,
yeah, they had a keg, they would get a keg of A&W root beer.
Oh, yeah, it was like coming out of a tap.
Wow. That's like the best reason to go to college that I've ever heard. They would sell the mugs, but I think that everybody that had a mug in at least one A&W mug in their cabinet stole them.
There are over 900 locations, and they are in the United States and Southeast Asia.
They probably had to mark up their soda so much to offset the fact that at least 20% of their mugs are going to go missing.
Oh, for sure.
Because people would, they'd bring it out, they'd set it on the tray, right, that would clip onto your window, and have like the floating tray there, and have your mug, and yeah, people would just be like, all right, they'd ditch the tray and
or how about
take
breakage
off with the
from
mugs.
forgetting there's a glass mug on your fucking car window?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, how many people just drove off, like, flinging huge steins?
No, they had that bear. Oh, wow. They opened in 1919?
They had that bear. What does that mean?
As a mascot.
They had a bear mascot?
Yeah.
Like Smokey?
A&W Bear.
A&W Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it makes sense, but
Great
I've
Root
never
Bear.
seen. Oh, yeah. What, does he got, like, a beanie cap on?
Yep. And an orange.
I think...
Looks like the bear that used to dance around at Boblo, if you ask me.
Oh, the Boblo Bear.
Yeah, it looks just like them. Like they're brothers.
I think that my mind had melded together the A&W Bear and the Icy Bear. The bear on the icy machines. He's
that's a polar bear.
Yeah, I know. They're both wearing beanies, though. And so
he wears a beanie now?
I think he does.
I know. I don't recall him with a beanie.
It was just a regular old-looking polar bear?
Yeah.
This is some Mandela effect here, isn't it? Does the Icy Bear have a hat? Aaron says yes. Chris says no.
Depends on which photo.
Yeah.
Actually, all of these photos, I see no hat.
No hat.
No hat. I see
My memory is failed.
No, but I see... No, you're confusing him with the Slush Puppy.
Slush Puppy has a hat.
Has a hat. But the Icy Bear wearing a red shirt with an eye on it that looks similar to the shirt
he wears a sweater.
The Great Root Bear wears, yes.
So the Root Bear, he's the Great Root Bear?
That's it. His name was the Great Root Bear.
Oh, I missed that. So the Great Root Bear, we're going to need some sort of flow chart or something after this.
He's got the beanie.
He wears a hat and a sweater.
Yeah, and they're orange.
Yeah. And then the slushy penguin wears a sweater. Damn it.
No, the Slush Puppy.
The Slush Puppy.
Remember, he's still a puppy.
Wears a sweater, and
with
the
an S on
Icy
it.
Bear wears...
And the Slush Puppy
he wears the hat.
Has the hat as well.
He has the hat. He wears a hat and a sweater? Oh, okay.
The sweater has an S on it. My reference is the pictures I'm looking at right now. Then the Icy Bear has a red sweater with an eye on it and blue pants.
Okay.
And no hat. And depending on which version of him, shades.
This is why our podcast has lasted for a decade. People keep coming back for these hard-hitting questions.
Like, this one looks like they tried to make him like the Poochie version of the Icy Bear.
There's the radical in your face.
Yes.
With the wraparound shades.
He's got wraparound shades. He's on a piece of ice that looks like it could be a surfboard.
He's on an ice floe that
skateboard.
Just roughly cut into a surfboard shape.
The sweater obviously a little baggier.
I think he's definitely He's surfing the ocean.
The sweater is baggier than normal. I think they're trying to make us believe this bear is African American because the pants are also baggier, but still in sandals.
Still in sandals.
He's got blue sandals on.
Why does he have sandals in the first place? He's always in a cold climate. Why sandals? Because can I see that picture again?
Hey, I
can't picture the sandals.
Hey, this is extreme Icy Bear.
He's got slides on?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. He's got some blue slides. Oh no, maybe he's strapped to the ice.
He's strapped to the ice. He is strapped to the ice. Yeah. Which I don't think that's how it works. I think that's what do they call it when they drag you behind the boat? Torture?
No. He was supposed to have attitude.
What do you mean exactly?
Oh, you know, attitude.
Who's voice actor doing the?
Can we put him in more of a hip hop?
The producer in that.
Forget context. He's got to be a surfer. Give me a nice schmear of surfer.
I feel we should Rastify him by 10% or so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
I think he needs a little more attitude.
Like he was a reoccurring character here and there in The Simpsons, but I don't know that was like a voice that I recognized that would pop up in The Simpsons a lot. What would he was the head of the studio, right?
Yes.
What's that name again? I forgot.
The name's Poochie D, and I rock the telly. I'm half Joe Camel and a third Fonzarelli. I'm the Kung Fu hippie from Gangster City.
Like, all right, here's Poochie.
Yeah. With the backwards hat and the sunglasses. There's Icy.
The Icy, like, that's
Poochie, Icy.
That's like them, like, making their Poochie.
Yeah.
To the fireworks.
Well, this goes all the way back to Joe Camel.
Right.
Like, at least Icy Bear doesn't have a huge dick on his face.
Right. And, like, just in our face for years.
Yes. And it kept getting bigger.
In the 80s and 90s,
I think
Joe Camel everywhere. Just giant dong.
It was between him and Chester Cheetah that I think they were having a contest, like, who could make their face look more phallic.
Oh, Chester Cheetah now is fucking weird.
Because you know what kids like? Huge dongs.
Yes.
Huge, floppy, showy fucking dongs.
Well, some kids probably. But, you know, not till they grow up.
A lot of them. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Moving on.
Yeah, it's getting weird.
It's the stuff quantifying how many kids like dong.
Yeah.
They'll write it and
could get us on a list.
Oh, and hey, speaking of animation, so the last season that was Adult Swim only or Cartoon Network only, Rick and Morty has released to the streamers finally. But season 6 is out now. If you have Max, it might be on other streamers too.
Is this the first Justin Roiland?
No. So that one just wrapped up recently. So that's still, you have to.
Oh, so this is his last one?
Yeah, this is the final season with Justin Roiland involved. And so I caught up on that. I watched all those episodes and really loved it. I thought it was some of the I need to go back and watch it again because for one thing, I was sick the whole time I was watching it, but I plowed through that whole season, and it's, you know, like, it's like The Simpsons in that the jokes are so layered that you don't get everything the first watch through. I don't know, like, I think modern viewers of The Simpsons now, like, my kids watch and enjoy The Simpsons. I think they get it all. I don't think there's anything that's, like, going past them. But, like, back in the day, it just seemed to be like a shotgun full of jokes in your face.
I saw a good meme that was, like, the evolution of The Simpsons. It had, like, the beginning, the 90s.
Yeah, the wonky.
Yeah, the 2000s and now. It just had the label on what everybody was. And the running gag, and it was the label always on Maggie is baby. That was the running gag in the meme. But
what everybody was. What do you mean?
Like
they didn't
in the beginning,
change.
it was it had Homer was like angry father, Bart was like mischievous kid.
Oh yeah, they did kind of a bulb.
Yeah,
like this.
You know, next season, Bart. What does it got for Bart? Baby. Like underachieving main character. Or Homer's like idiot main character. Marge is like hardworking housewife.
Oh yeah. She becomes much less nagging and much more put upon.
It's got Lisa as voice of reason.
Yeah.
And the current iteration is...
I don't even know.
No, it has Homer is idiot main character.
Still,
Bart is idiot sidekick. They have Marge as space filler. Lisa as liberal douche. And Maggie as baby.
Well, I enjoyed season 6 so much, and then my buddy gave me access to a server that he has that had season 7 on it.
Ooh,
so
secret.
I started watching some of those, and I didn't even Well, actually, I was watching season 6 on the server as well, the end of it. So it just went right into season 7. So I didn't even realize there was a transition. So I didn't notice immediately that like there were any differences in anyone's voices. They definitely, whoever's doing the voices, I know we talked about it, I just don't remember. But those people are doing a banging up job as far as that's concerned. Although there's much less of that kind of stuttering cadence that Justin Roiland seemed to really perfect. That, there's a pace to his jokes that they're not able to match.
Well, aren't they even in the mode where like, don't they have so much of him backlogged? I think it was Tim Allen has said recently, he's like, at this point for Toy Story, I got to go in for like 2 days because most of the basic stuff they already got.
He said it already. And
yeah.
They just piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. No wonder some of those performances seem so wooden. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing any of that. I don't think they're splicing in any of the old shit. But that's not even like what immediately threw me is that there was just, I don't know, way more, there was just a blandness to those episodes. I haven't finished the entire season yet, but I watched like 4 or 5 of them at least, and it was like season 6 had some great episodes, and when Rick and Morty is at its best, it's, or at least my favorite, and I think a lot of the episodes that people list as their favorite or talk about are the high concept episodes. Like an early one that I'm thinking about is the one about the dogs, right? They give the dogs the ability to talk. So it doesn't start with like a bunch of jokes. It starts with, what if dogs could talk? What would they say? How would they act? What if dogs could use technology? How would they get one over on us? What would the planet look like? Getting your jokes from that concept, from a core concept that actually works as an idea for a story. And a really interesting one, and the way you can tell, like, it's almost like more Twilight Zone than The Simpsons. The Simpsons, and they did this great, but The Simpsons was like, what's a basic idea for like a sitcom setup that we will completely toss out in the first 5 minutes, right? The Simpsons go to the mall. They go to the mall, they run into so-and-so, they hear some jokes about this and that, they go to these stores. Then they go and Homer buys a certain item and he takes it home.
And now we have the story.
There's the story. The story is about the item that he takes home that he can't figure out or has a curse on or whatever the fuck it is. And your jokes come out of that. But so anyway, I just didn't see any of those. Like the concepts were more like, what if we took, Aliens and Die Hard and smashed it into one movie? Or like, what if we,
so what I'm hearing
what if we put Rick up against a bunch of other alternate universe Ricks, but there's Predators involved for some reason, because Predators, that's funny. Just having Predators for no reason.
Hearing is that perhaps Justin Roiland was more part of the creative process than his voice?
It seems very uninspired, very much more like cut and dry, like, okay, what if we paired Jerry and Rick up? What if they go to a planet that's supposed to be a spa, but then it ends up being something else, or whatever.
Wasn't he the creator?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you boot the person from the project who's essentially been the voice of the project. And now it sounds like what I'm hearing is, the voice of the project is going in a different direction.
Like immediately, all your core elements are there. The snappy dialogue, everyone's voice seems real solid, not just their voice, the actors portraying them, but the voice of the character seems very familiar. And it's such an established show that there's a lot of just built-in humor based off of that.
Yes, but I mean, I can make... Like, for someone like me, if you told me, hey, we're going to do South Park without Trey and Matt, I'd be...
why?
You sure about that? Like, hey, we're going to do Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill without Mike Judge. We sure about this? like maybe Rick and Morty could be facing this type of situation.
Yeah, I think that, well, I'm unsure. I don't know. Who knows how ratings work and any, like, how shows make money in what way and how they do or don't get canceled. Obviously, I mean, this is one of the best things that Comedy Central has going for it. And, you know, I'm sure they have millions of people who are like, well, I'm not canceling my cable because they're still showing Rick and Morty. I don't know what has prevented Adult Swim from going full streaming with their deep fucking catalog, unless they either have some amazing deals with the cable and satellite providers and all that shit, or they don't really own any of that shit, and it would like actually be a big hassle to try and put it all on the fucking street, because a lot of that shit's elsewhere. Like I was watching last season of Metalocalypse, I was watching again, but you can watch on HBO Max and you get to see all and hear all the shit that they bleeped and blurred out. Ooh. Of the. So I watched the one where Nathan Explosion dates one of the groupies, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, that's a bad idea." And there's a montage where she's just like, all they're doing is like every time they're not fucking or making out in a scene where, you know, they're like out in public at a restaurant or something, she's popping her top and showing her tits. So I mean, if you're into perfectly shaped animated tits,
you get to
where the gander. But you also
unedited Dr. Roxo video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I should go check that one out. And none of the swears are bleeped or anything, which I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's more funny because they do all the bleeps with
I always wondered why they were bleeping something that was on past midnight.
What do you call that when you make that kind of scraping, like noise with the guitar?
Oh, the pick scrapes.
Like, yeah, it's like a pinch harmonic type of thing. Yeah, they do those usually when they aired it on Adult Swim. Just, I guess, to put a button on the Rick and Morty thing. Throw a rock and you'll hit a raunchy comedy, and it's probably got half a dozen funny enough jokes in it. Like, we don't need another one of those. Rick and Morty was a show that was actually doing something, not only that other shows weren't doing, but what other shows have tried to do and failed. Fucking, what's his nuts? Key and Peele dude, did the director of Us and
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, thank you. I was blanking on his first name. Jordan Peele, you know, fucking wins awards. This guy is like one of the few guys left in Hollywood that has like basically a blank check. Mm-hmm. Like, he wants to make a movie. People are making his fucking movie right now. They just want to know, how soon can you get it out? That's their question, right? Jordan Peele wants to make a movie. Yes.
It's not a bad spot to be in.
He was involved with the Twilight Zone reboot, and that fucking failed. And I didn't watch any of it because I didn't feel like being disappointed, but I listened to the Word Balloon podcast, and not only does he talks mostly to comic creators, but he's just a fan of anything genre, and definitely old television and Outer Limits and Twilight Zone and shit like that. And he did a full rundown of it. It was like, no, there's just not interesting stories, right? It's not an easy thing to do. Like, what if we just every week tell a mind-blowing fucking story that doesn't connect to anything? It's not going to be a universe expanding. It's not a tent pole. It's just a huge fucking idea for 45 minutes that'll blow your fucking mind and go, oh, wow, that was awesome, right? That's what the Twilight Zone used to do. That's what the Outer Limits used to do. It's not an easy thing to do. It's really not. It's like asking to write a new fucking science fiction story every month. You know how often a science fiction story comes along that sticks with people?
That's where you need good writing.
Yeah. That's where you need the inspired ideas. You know, the difference is these shows have succeeded when they've had more singular visions of people who are just can spout out these crazy ideas. So I don't know. I'm not trying to totally slag it because I think that there's a lot of talent involved in making this show. I think it looks great. Animation's great. Voice acting is great. There's so much good about it. But man, it's like if that spark is gone, that spark is gone, right?
Right. Can't go home again.
Yeah. So anyway, but there's been a lot of really good TV shows worth watching, I think, actually. Have you seen anything good?
No.
What are you watching? Yeah, I know what you're watching. I don't have to ask.
It's all football. The Lions are doing good.
Yeah, we're here in Detroit.
This is rare.
What? So, what is going on?
The Lions are 1 win away from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A spot they have not been in since I was 12 years old. So however old you were in January 1992.
Has it been? Yeah. I wasn't even paying attention. It seems like my whole life this has not happened. So I didn't realize, like 92 is, out of a whole life of not paying attention to football, 92 is probably the pinnacle of me not paying attention to football. Because though at 92 I was 17, turning 18.
Yeah,
come on, man.
For me too. Yeah, but but yes,
this is a big deal. I see it like people are sporting their fucking jerseys and jackets and hats and all that shit. I was like,
a lot of people's fathers have come and gone.
A lot of fair weather fans out there, man.
Okay.
A lot of people like, I don't know.
Oh, but Detroit's getting a lot of good national press.
Have they?
You know, they're being dubbed America's new team. Like everyone's pulling for them because they're the underdog.
Right. Yeah. So I was reading a bit about this earlier. Who was it? There is some dude who is getting slammed for his for what he was saying about Detroit, because not only was he saying what a lot of people seem to be saying, and I don't know that I totally agree with it, that like you know that the Lions are like responsible, not totally responsible for, but like are helping Detroit come back. And I think that's kind of a ridiculous, I mean,
for what? For 12 months? No. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Like people are flooding into the city now and want to live there and feel secure because the football team is doing well this year. No, that's like, shit does not move that fast. People don't move that fast. And
it is bringing a lot of people downtown.
Right. Yeah. Like and rejuvenizing.
This has been a decades-long process. Yeah, it isn't because of like 4 months that started last September.
They got the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that the Lions are doing well is part of this Detroit coming back, and more money coming into the city. There's more development. We've seen how much downtown has changed over our lifetimes.
Stadium being there was part of them starting to bring it back, and that's 20 years old.
Right. And you don't get a team to the Super Bowl without investing. It just doesn't like you. Mm-hmm. It's not like you just fucking fuck around forever and maybe some magical combination of people will come together that will get you a trophy. It's fucking planned.
I keep saying
they do this by numbers.
The progressive people are missing a golden storyline in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Shit didn't change till they put 2 women in charge.
Who? Oh,
in their upper management.
Yeah.
The owner of the team is a woman.
Oh, the team owner?
Yeah.
Or there's probably more than one, isn't there? Or is there usually a single owner?
No, it's a woman. And then she hired her daughter-in-law to fucking straighten all that shit out. And she has.
Yeah.
Because they did what good leaders do. They're probably like, I don't know shit about football. I need to put people who know more about this subject around me than me. And that's what they have done. And now we are here saying ridiculous sentences like the Detroit Lions could go to the Super Bowl. I'm just trained to, like, the last couple of weeks, I've had to get used to saying that sentence and meaning it. I'm just trained to know, like, that is ridiculous. We don't say things like that around here. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's
we have an actual shot. Like,
seems like a dream.
Dude, this town will go insane. Even if they get there, and if they win, dude, you're going to see Remember when the Red Wings won in 1997? You remember how crazy shit was? It's going to be like that times fucking 10.
I lived downtown in 97, and
it's going to be like that times 10.
I lived like, right in the Cass corridor, and still didn't give a fuck about any kind of sports. And I thought there was
by the way, now that's Midtown. Please and thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That's just to call it now.
I can't call it the corridor anymore.
That's the corridor.
Yeah.
Dude, the Cass corridor as we knew it is fucking gone. It's been replaced with fucking...
Whatever. It's still, there's a street called Cass, and there's a corridor that runs through that has a lot of businesses, so it's the Cass corridor.
I joke with my nephew, like, you can walk from the Fox to the Majestic at midnight on Friday and not get mugged. Right. And you will never know the journey that we knew. Like, I'm not walking down there. I'm driving down there. Like, and it's only a few blocks.
Yeah. Yeah. That used to be Chinatown when the city was really thriving, like full on, like what you see in New York. I've never been there, but what you see on TV just straight up. There's still,
I really did see ducks hanging in the window in fucking New York.
Actually, I think it might have closed down over the pandemic. The last Chinese restaurant that was still there was one that was opened up when it was full on Chinatown and remained open all the way through after I moved out of downtown. Oh, but I would say the Red Wings, they won in 97. I found out because there were people just out in the streets all over the place. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I thought there was a riot. Mm-hmm. And my roommate had to be like, the Red Wings?
Dude, it's going to be like that times 10. It's going to be, the Lions have not won since 1957. The Lions have never won a Super Bowl because the Super Bowl didn't exist till 1966. The last time the Lions won, it was called the NFL Championship, and half the teams that exist now did not exist.
Yep. And here's your warning, Detroiters. Don't fucking park in the streets. If you leave your car out in the street...
And everybody, can we all...
It's kind of people are going to jump on it.
And as a group...
They're going to throw trash cans on it.
As a group, can we all agree that we all have at least one big screen TV? There's no need to go out.
And do what? Trash one? What did people... Oh, looting?
Right over your head.
Why are we talking looting? Why do you think is looting a thing that usually happens during these types of celebrations?
You get a 30 Rock demerit. There is a very famous scene with Tracy Jordan in .com, and they're stealing TVs, and he's like, why are we doing this? And he goes, because the Jets lost! But yeah, no, when sometimes when cities win championships, people go out. I don't know if you remember 1984. I remember, and I was 5. I remember seeing it on TV. Motherfuckers turned upside down and set on fire a Detroit cop car. Why? Because the Tigers won. I'm just saying, we all have enough big screen TVs.
Yes.
Let's not get our insurance companies involved.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've got an extra. I have a TV, a flat screen that I don't even know what to do with in my basement. I would gladly donate it if it means that somebody is not going to smash in a window. But let's start that program. Donate your old TV. People in
TVs
need.
For looters.
Yes, TVs for looters. We're going to stop them from smashing shit up by giving them our old TVs.
No, whenever there's civil unrest or a team wins a sports championship, the organization will drive out to inner cities and just leave piles of big screen TVs.
Yeah. Yeah, the truck comes by, you load it up, you bring out your TVs.
You put them in front of the Best Buy as yeah. It's almost like a security system. Just take these.
Yeah.
Leave the ones inside alone.
Let's do a smash and grab on that Best. Oh, there's a TV right there on the. All right.
Cool.
Kind of takes all the fun out of it, but all right.
Fuck it. Let's go smash and grab the Best Buy anyway. Now we got 2 TVs.
No, those TVs would last about 20 minutes, and somebody would just drive up and take them all out of the car and just fucking do donuts.
Yeah, no. What happened is somebody would see the pile, somebody get on the phone, and then some asshole would show up in a giant pickup and just take all the TVs. Hey, I got 20 TVs.
Yeah, or set them on fire.
That's also probably true.
Well, I was trying to find. I didn't want to slander somebody and not know their real name, but it was some sports announcer, an African American dude. I know I've seen him before. He's probably on like ESPN. I know that narrows it down, not at all.
Stephen A. Smith.
But he said not only that the Lions winning has been really great for Detroit, but that like it really needs it because because it looks like a ghost town. And he was talking about just the urban blight and the lack of people, and just it didn't even seem that sympathetic. It was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening to this city?
My guess is by just what Black Guy and ESPN, something incendiary, that's usually Stephen A. Smith.
That sounds correct.
That is his gig. He's a sports provocateur.
Oh, yeah. Here's a story from the Free Press. This is, I guess, a response from Darren A. Nichols to Stephen A. Smith. Because he said Detroit is on a respirator.
Hey, I've never been the biggest booster of Detroit, but I will say Detroit is in the best shape that it's ever been in my lifetime.
Here's part of his quote. You go to the outskirts of the Detroit area. The outskirts? Oh, my God.
Well, you go to the outskirts? Really? Find me any find me any city where every area of it is fucking perfect.
You go to the outskirts of the Detroit area, it looks like a damn desert town. I'm sitting here wondering how people make money, Smith said. I'm looking at it and what is going on in that city. You got to go there to see what I'm talking about, to know and to see what kind of impact this is having. It extends beyond football. No. It extends beyond football. Actually, what you're talking about has nothing to do with football. It doesn't extend beyond football. It is a separate issue that has nothing to do with it. Well, I guess there is some, like we said, there's some
it is nice correlation. To see, like, everybody's like in a good mood, and you know why. It is nice to have like a common thing. Everybody is like, especially in January.
Yeah. And what Mr. Nichols says in response is that his take is that the Lions are resurging Detroit, not the hard work that's been done by the Duggan administration, nonprofits, community development corporations, block clubs, other partners, and Detroiters themselves. That's been going on for a decade or more. So yeah, that they say it much more succinctly than I do.
Stephen A. lives in New York, and he only sees what he sees on TV. Right. No, I'm with this writer. Like, like the last 10 years, Detroit's gone through some good things.
Yeah. Look, dude, okay, so you came to Detroit one time and, you had to go to the outskirts of the city to score your Coke.
I will say it until like...
And you saw some shit, you were like, God damn, that shit really... Oh, I thought it was just on the TV. Okay.
I'll say
crack houses are real. All right, I get it.
Until 10 years ago, Detroit was a shithole. And some parts of it still are. But as far as the city as a whole, the downtown area, it is in the best shape it's been in my lifetime. And I'm going to be 45 this year.
Yeah.
I have seen Detroit, and trust me, my family is one of the... both sides, some of the last white families to move out of Detroit. My grandparents stuck around to the fucking late 90s. God love them. I've seen Detroit in various stages, good and bad. And trust me, right now, Detroit's in decent shape. Best shape of my lifetime. I guess when you're comparing it to a fucking war zone, it's all relative. But still, it's the best shape of my lifetime.
Yeah. And it's like, Detroit's just a fucking large city. Right? There's a lot of land in Detroit. And I don't think that, as far as what Stephen A. Smith was calling the outskirts of the city, I don't know that it's ever going to fully come back. I mean, we might just have to, rethink what to do with parts of the city.
I can tell you what I've seen. Like,
I don't think
there's some area.
Like
I've seen it in a lot of areas. It eventually just gets so bad, it just goes away.
Yeah.
Like the businesses move out, the residents move out, the buildings just fall into disrepair, and they just fucking level it, and they just start over.
Right.
They've done it in a few areas of the city.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know that the population is ever going to go back to what it was, in 1960.
Oh no!
Like it's there's just no way, unless I don't know, like all of China dies, right? and then people are looking to America to build stuff again. Then this is a good spot to build shit.
But a lot of stuff would happen because an area that I'm sure you know well, the Grosse Pointe Park.
Like
Detroit.
if China and Taiwan nuke each other.
Like the Grosse Pointe Park Detroit border, right? You remember that area well. You can physically see. Here's a community that gives a fuck, and here's a community who doesn't give a fuck. Like we're in those neighborhoods for work. I try to point out to my nephew, some of our guys, like, it blows my mind. These are the same houses, like literally blocks.
I know what you're saying. I take exception to it's not about whether people give a fuck or not. It's about whether the communities have the resources to give a fuck.
I say it starts with the city government.
Yeah.
And I feel Detroit has squandered their resources.
Dude.
The DPS, right? The public schools. How many of the superintendents have been fucking indicted for embezzling? Right? Yeah. You're supposed to be in charge of those kids' futures, and you're fucking
stealing them. How many all big cities got mayors in jail?
Yeah, right? Yeah,
for good reason. That's just fucking nepotism is what it is. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Spin your passion into a business with Shopify and break sales records with the world's best converting checkout. Let's hear that one more time. The world's best converting checkout. Shopify's legendary checkout makes it easier for customers to shop on your website, across social media, and everywhere in between. Now that's music to your ears. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify. Start your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/records.
Grand Canyon University makes earning your degree possible with over 130 academic programs for traditional campus students with more than 80 bachelor's programs offered online. GCU provides you with the personal support you need, from complimentary unofficial transcript evaluations within 24 business hours to scholarships, academic support, and your GCU graduation team, led by your own university counselor. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Anyway.
Yeah, right? Were we talking about weed?
Were we?
No.
That was weed. What were we smoking there? We were smoking some...
I think it's called AO2. It says on the bag.
AO.
It's no official label. Look this up.
That is the stuff that looks purple and smells like orange.
Like an orange. Let's see, when I type in AO2 strain, I get A2 cookies. Maybe this is maybe we're smoking like secret weed from this grower.
It's what you say, when you see somebody out in public and you can tell they're high, like AO2.
Okay. Have you seen those new commercials where they're like, their whole thing, the whole runner of the commercial is, we could tell you're high. Like the kid's walking and he runs into his girlfriend. She's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, I could tell. Then he runs into like his mom or something. She's like,
this is an
yeah. And then she's like, I could tell. And then he runs into like his uncle at a barbecue and he's like, I could tell. And then of course it ends with a cop and I can tell. And I'm like, how? Your whole premise of this commercial is, we know. Right. How do you know?
But they don't ever say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody says, look at your eyes. Nobody says, you're talking funny. Nobody says, a little, I don't know.
Yeah, like in a DUI commercial, they make sure they put the limit in there, like .08 is, and all that shit. Like,
yeah. Or they get, and they have people who are slurring their words and stumbling and fumbling with the keys.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just found the whole, I could tell that's your premise.
Yeah.
Who writes these things?
Right, and it says, like, what is the giveaway? I mean, if somebody's really stoned,
My ex-wife told me, because she had to go to drunk school, because she had a DUI.
Yeah.
But no, it's something with your pupils. Or if they make you look up or something.
Right.
They said if you're high or something, like your eyes will always, they have you look in a direction.
So there's a test a cop can do, but a cop can do, not like your mom is going to be, okay.
Yeah.
No, now follow my pen light.
I'm trying to. It's if you look in a certain direction, your eyeballs will always shake if you're high or something like that. Something that they can tell, like something you can't.
I'm going to
hide.
look this up now and see if I can pass. I'm going to practice in the mirror.
Yeah.
Stop my eyes from shaking.
Right. What are you doing, sir? Trying to keep my eyeballs from shaking.
That would be the giveaway.
Yeah, right.
Your eyes look still, but why are you sweating so hard?
Cops is on.
I was reading an article about what are those patterns you see when you close your eyes?
I feel I see one of these a year.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever come across that. I mean, definitely the patterns. I know what they're talking about there. That used to be my thing when I was a kid. I would just fucking rub the shit out of my eyes and watch the fucking colors go crazy. It looked like the oil swirl at the beginning of the Ultraman TV show. When they would have like that kind of
point of reference for that at all.
Yeah, it's how they would do quote unquote psychedelic effects.
It's like a kaleidoscope
back in the day, kind of like a kaleidoscope, but you'd have different color dye that you would put in like oil and water. And it would stay separated, and they just swirl it around. Yeah. You'd see the bubbles, and it would be all pink and green and blue, and all that. It's kind of like that type of shit, which is actually how they would do it. They would just it's oil and water and food dye, and they'd put it in front of a light, and they'd film that, and then project it onto the Velvet Underground while they played.
Yeah,
this is explained about the weird floating things that you sometimes see in your vision. I have that. I have it seems like it's always the same shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like on a bright day when you look up at like just a clear sky,
a little squiggly.
Yeah, you're like, look at that. There's just like nothing up there, and then all of a sudden this worm like goes across your vision, and you're like, what the fuck? It's living inside of my eyeball. That is
fluid.
What they describe as those things that you see they describe them as tissue, protein clumps, and red blood cells. That's what you usually see in swimming around in your vision.
Ooh.
But the shit that you see when you close your eyes, especially if you give them a couple rubs, which they don't recommend doing, but come on, man.
Everyone doesn't.
Yeah.
We all did it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to fuck up their eyes by
I don't know. Have you always worn glasses?
It's true. The swirls and waves we see are made by changes in activity in the cells. So all the I guess like the cones and rods, all the light sensitive cells that are inside of your eyeball are constantly being sent, even when there's no incoming information, which I don't understand. I mean, the way they describe it in here, it almost sounds like, it's just, let me see if I can find it.
So you're seeing the rods and cones
our
trying
eyes
to work?
Yeah, our eyes don't turn off in the dark, but instead they create very weak internal signals that mimic light. Maybe it's like a little trickle, because if you turn the pump off completely, it's hard to restart. Maybe that's what it's about. So you don't want to your eyes have to reset and readjust every time you close your eyes and open them again, right? You want that fast recall. You want to
So just keeping the works moving.
Maybe it helps you like not be disoriented.
Keeping the juices flowing.
Right. Like, yeah, if you shut it off completely, then maybe they kind of like the cells shut down and then it takes a second to reboot.
It's like leaving the engine idling.
So that, yeah, maybe. Or maybe I'm just making shit up. Maybe these people know more. They're constantly being made at the cells at the back of your eyes. This is according to Katrina Schmidt, associate professor in the School of Optometry and Vision Science at the Queensland University of Technology. So I guess she knows what she's talking about. Swirls and waves you see are made by changes in activity from these cells. The blobs may be colored because the cells in your eyes that detect color also show this activity. Or detect color, okay. These signals are transmitted to the brain, and the brain interprets this random activity. Your brain doesn't know they weren't produced by real light, so we think we're seeing colored lights and patterns that are not there. It's kind of an illusion. I don't think we really think that we're seeing light. I mean, like, I just assume that, like, you're seeing, like, some amount of light has to get through, right? Like,
that's what I would assume too.
It's not like the skin on your eyelids is like completely opaque, right? It lets them. I mean, like everybody knows this. Close your eyes and look at the light.
Yeah,
you can see that there is some amount of light getting through. So I just assumed it was that.
Lately, I've been thinking about getting a sleep mask.
Yeah, are you usually an easy sleeper, huh? Or why a sleep mask? Can't you just keep the lights off, or
a few instances?
Sleep in.
Well, I like to have a TV show on or music on, but
I see.
Lately, with sometimes with the TV, sometimes it's been bothering me, and it's like, and then I'll like put the pillow over my eyes, and then
so you don't
off to sleep.
Right. So you want to listen to it, but you can't. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You need to put on a podcast then to fall asleep.
No, because I want to listen to a podcast. I want shit that just can go right through me to go to sleep.
Right. Yeah, that's a thing.
Like, that's why it's always a TV show I've seen a million times.
Yeah. Well, because like 99% of podcasts, like we're doing, it's just content, right? Which is this evil word for the times. But
my parents always, when I was a kid, I always fell asleep to my parents. I could hear the TV in the living room. I guarantee you this is probably correlated to that.
Right. Yeah, but so you don't, like, if you're listening to a podcast, you don't want to listen to the new episode because you're going to fall asleep halfway through and you're going to miss out on what they're saying, or you're just going to be paying attention to what they're saying so much that you can't fall asleep.
Yeah, I did that on the road a lot. I'd either stay up late and listen to the podcast, or I just fall asleep and rewind. All right, that's the last thing I remember.
And then you don't want to go back, because why? Like, to where? And just pick one randomly or listen to last week's that you just heard. But with a TV show, you can put on something and you're like, yeah, I remember this. And if I fall asleep, I'm not going to miss out on what happens.
Yes. I know Jerry is going to be
familiar
about
enough.
The puffy shirt. Yeah. I've seen it 100 times. So we'll say, it's anything new. I have been rewatching Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Because there were some I hadn't seen, but I've seen them all a bunch of times.
Did you see the ad for the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm that was upcoming?
And now it's not the last season. Like, I heard it was going to be the last, and now it's not going to be the last.
I don't care. Whatever. Whenever he wants to do it, I'm going to watch. They're still. That's a show that keeps coming back for bites at the apple, but hasn't lost any quality at all.
Although I do feel maybe they were recycling a little bit with the Spike Coffee Shop, because just watched it yesterday, where Jerry takes back a jacket for Spike. He wants to return a jacket for Spike. That is his reason.
Yeah, well, okay, but then you just have to discredit like everything that just about this.
It's the same writers, so there's that.
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna ding them for using spite as a concept repetitively, then there's no end to it. Like, you might as well just give up on it, because that's just one of the recurring themes, Small annoyances that get under your skin, and doing things out of spite is the backbone of Larry David's comedy. The ad was funny, though. It's just him walking. For whatever reason, he's out in middle of like a big LA street. There's nobody out there, and a flying saucer, your classic, like, you know, Close Encounters looking spaceship with the big headed alien. You know, it lands, the guy gets out.
Does Larry get into an erotic exchange with him?
No, he pulls his mask off, reveals that he's an alien, and they tell him, you know, his work here is done. You can go home. Yeah. And he, I don't know, says something about some quip about parking or
playing that Newhart angle.
He says something funny, and then wait, what's the Newhart angle?
Remember the first TV show? It was all.
It was all a dream. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, I don't know if this is, I think that was just a joke to announce the show or the new season. But who knows? Maybe that is going to be part of the theme. I can't imagine it happening, but I wouldn't put anything past Larry David.
And Jerry dropped a cryptic thing. Did you hear about this a few months ago?
Mm-mm.
He was, I guess with his stand-up, I guess since the last 20 years, it comes with a Q&A after it or whatever.
And that he does, like,
yeah,
on
he does
stage?
on stage, and he lets people shout out questions at him.
Okay.
He takes a few questions, and somebody asked him how he feels now about the final show, and he said something like, he was real cryptic about it. It was like, there's something concerning that's coming. I can't say anything about it now, but there is something coming.
I didn't hear
regarding
about that.
But then, like, 2 or 3 days later.
Wait, show, like, he's going to be involved with Curb, or?
He was very
or they're
cryptic.
doing a Seinfeld, even, like, who knows?
2 or 3 days later, they interviewed Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Okay.
So, but a lot of it was tied into, like, maybe there's something, because it was right around when they announced there was going to be the final season of Curb. Is when he did that too. So they like, maybe it's going to be tied in with this.
Does anybody ever ask him how he feels about 30-year-old pussy? I don't like it. Anything 30 and up? And you're like, no, I can't do it.
Right. Yeah, everyone forgets he dated a 17-year-old with huge cans, by the way. I mean,
there's one thing we can tell he likes for sure.
Yeah, but like, and it was like when Seinfeld was like at its zenith. He's running around. Was that how bulletproof he was? He was pulling like who cares? You can date a 17-year-old and you're 36 and we don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember even going like, that chick's like a year older than me. But all right, because for me, when I'm 16, who gives a shit? Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld's dating somebody older than me. Who cares?
The stand-up that's sucking up all the controversy in the room lately is Cat Williams.
Oh, yeah.
That's who's getting.
He's been spilling.
Yeah, he went on. He's like, people are using terms like scorched earth, burning bridges. He is. I didn't watch any of the interview, but I read a synopsis of it.
Read a lot of things. Which interview?
Oh, what's he called? The Shay Shay? Is that his show? Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Well, who's Cat talking about?
Everybody. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Shay Shay is, what's this dude's name? Shannon Sharp.
Oh.
Club Shay Shay is the name of his podcast or YouTube
Sharp,
show.
He played the football.
Oh, he's a footballer? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so he had Cat Williams on. Let's see. Kevin Hart, 15 years in Hollywood. No one in Hollywood has a memory of a sold-out Kevin Hart show. There being in line for him, ever getting a standing ovation at a comedy club. He already had his deals when he got there.
He's not wrong.
We have heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A., he had his own sitcom on network television. Had his, like Kevin Hart talks like he came up in the L.A. comedy scene. He didn't.
No. First time I ever heard of Kevin Hart, I saw him in Soul Plane.
That's what he says here. Yeah, he says he had his own sitcom on network television show, and he had his own film called Soul Plane that he was leading. No, we never heard of that person before or since that person. What do you think a plant is? I don't know what that means. Maybe people don't understand the definition of these words. He just did this documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast. So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. I don't know. Everybody takes shots at Kevin Hart, though. I think mostly because he's not really that funny.
I never heard him do stand-up until after he had all the movies and shit.
I think Kevin Hart is a funny dude who should not be doing stand-up unless he gets some people to write some better jokes or some actual jokes for him. Because his stand-up is just fucking nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing there. There's no story. There's no nothing. There's no real joke. It's just buffoonery. He's just being a clown. A lot of people get away with it. There's lots of people out there that make a fine career out of being a clown. But that's not really what most people think of these days as stand-up.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't call him a stand-up goat by any means.
Yeah, successful.
Yeah,
you know, Cedric the Entertainer. He goes after too. I mean, same boat, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric is a funny dude who is not a great stand-up.
See, now Cedric, I heard first time I ever heard of Cedric was stand-up. I knew Cedric was.
That's how we got to know
a comic before he was an actor. But I'm saying I knew Kevin Hart as an actor.
Kings of Comedy. We all know that.
I knew Kevin Hart as an actor before I ever knew him as a stand-up. I knew Cedric as a stand-up before I ever knew him as an actor.
Yes. So Cedric's sitting over here telling you why he ain't a movie star, looking like a walrus. Damn, dude. Can't even get his arms off his stomach, sitting over here. Why am I not a movie star?
Yeah, but he's a TV star.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer. We found out he can't sing, can't dance, doesn't write jokes.
Damn.
He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon. They're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They are so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Says about Kanye. I mean, really, it's just, what he says about Kanye is that it's unfair that we've all agreed that Kanye, there's something wrong with him, whatever he needs, therapy, medication. Not for us to say, but clearly he needs something, right? Kanye needs help. That's one thing everybody can agree on. How can you then, if you say that, go on to criticize him, right? I kind of see what he's saying, but also
because he has the resources to get the help and he's not getting it.
Everybody needs help, dude, right? Every person out there that you see and criticize for doing something stupid, who's driving crazy on the road, or, you know, making a scene in public or doing something, whatever judgment you're casting upon another person who's acting like an idiot in public, they all need help. That's it. They're not fundamentally broken. They weren't brought into this world to park crooked. They weren't, you know, my daddy parked crooked, I'm going to park crooked. We're crooked parkers. They're checked out for whatever reason. Like, you know, look. So, I don't know. Can we judge? Yeah, we can judge Kanye. Why the fuck not?
Because he's got the resources to get
Well, we're not going to judge. We're not going to... What? Michael Jackson, he needed help. Can't judge him because we all identified that guy needed some fucking help. We also did some horrible fucking shit.
Cat Williams ever been on Twitter? That's all they do. Or just social media in general.
Steve Harvey... I mean, he's pretty much doing talking the same shit that he did about Cedric.
I mean, a lot of this is coming off as sour grapes of people that are more successful than him.
Yeah. Calls Chris Tucker out for not smoking weed when he became the poster child for weed smoking. Because he was that fucking character of Smokey. Right.
His job is to play pretend for a living. Right.
We all knew him from Friday, and then we all knew him from that fucking crazy guy on The Fifth Element.
Yeah, he's not a fucking alien, Cat Williams.
Yeah. He didn't actually have like a crazy looking like tubular pompadour sticking out of his head.
Him and Jackie Chan really didn't take down the Yakuza.
Yeah. P. Diddy, Wanda Smith, Faison Love. I mean, we could go on this. Jonathan Majors, Joe Rogan, Ludacris, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, he just don't give. He must just, hey, it's over for me. Fuck it.
I don't know. Do you think that's what he's thinking? I think he's one of those guys, and there's a lot of them out there these days. The comedian who builds a super strong fan base. You don't even need to see him on TV anymore. Unless you're actually paying attention to them, you don't even know who they are. You know, there's these guys that sell out fucking stadiums doing comedy, and I'm like, I never fucking heard of them. I don't know who these guys are. Like, I didn't know for the longest time who Bert Kreischer was. Right? This guy's fucking... People come to town. Millions of people are coming from all over to see this fucking dude.
Yeah, his act wore thin on me pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's another one. He's a funny dude. He's a good storyteller. I think he's a good storyteller.
Well, you know he's Van Wilder, right?
Yeah.
But eventually he's going to take his fucking shirt off, and like that's his gig.
Yeah.
He had the cool story about the train robbery. The machine, that's a cool story, but like, he's exhausting to listen to, like...
I think so, too,
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's just another getter done. I'd rather listen to him on a podcast. I don't necessarily like the Two Bears podcast, but when he's a guest on somebody else's podcast, I'll definitely listen. He is a great guest. But anyway, speaking of podcasts, we should wrap this one up, huh?
Yeah. On social media at the Weedsman420 is where you find us on all the platforms. At ChristopherMedia.net. You're going to cut out the middleman. Just get your show straight from the source. You know.
Tap it right in your veins.
Yeah. Go to ChristopherMedia.net where there's also a PayPal button.
You can donate.
If you'd like to help us out. And you donate like Evan. Evan's there. He donates. He sends us messages we don't read. One day I'll read them, Evan. I promise.
Well, at least I read them, yeah. I just don't respond to anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read the messages. I see it.
But shout out to Evan and everyone else who's been listening to us throughout the years. And if you're new, hey, welcome. We've been doing it for almost a decade.
It is like, I'm right. Are we coming up on a decade like the spring?
Yeah, 420.
Did we start in the spring? Yeah.
Get some, right. Get a sponsor up in here. Get some free weed for our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. Get at least, that'll be our 10-year goal, to get at least one show sponsored. One show that makes money.
There's a dispensary close enough to the house as big they could fit us in there.
Yeah. Fit us inside the place? Oh, actually, we do it in-store?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know if I could podcast when other people are looking at me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think part of the appeal of this is that we can do this in our own little hovel in the basement. And we can just broadcast it out in the world.
It's true. When I had to do remote broadcasts, it was definitely... But I don't know. You get in you just get in a headspace. I don't know.
I'm sure you adjust. We both played on stage before.
Yeah, exactly. I just stared at the microphone, too. Yeah. But then again, too, it's I'm paid to do this. You know, fake it till you make it, right? But anyway...
I guess I DJ in front of people. Yeah. That's so different. I guess I could do it in front of people.
But anyways, all that from, if you're new, welcome to the show. Thank you for listening. And stay high.
Stay high.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.